Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Player Zone YouTube channel and welcome to our game recap for the second semi-final at Euro 2024. It was between the Dutch and England getting over the line in a fantastic watch, 2-1. I came into it not knowing how England would show out. How would they perform? Would they stay with the three-back? Would Luke Shaw play? But all of that ended up being answered and answered quite early. Obviously, we'll touch on the game-by-game, play-by-play recap. The Dutch got off to a good start into scoring the goal, but for the first sort of 50 minutes, England played some fantastic football. I know it sounds stunned saying it, but it's such a stark change in this whole narrative of we're going to get better as the tournament goes on by a lot of England fans. I was just sort of taking a bit of tongue-in-cheek sort of stuff, and maybe just positive, hopeful thinking that it is just out of the realms of reality. But it is genuinely a thing. They have gone and progressed throughout the tournament, developed a style of football, implemented the likes of Kobe Manu, Jude Bellingham in this team. We can't forget, yes, Jude Bellingham played the last World Cup, but Kobe Manu's doing that system. Declan Rice has got a new partner next to him, not Calvin Phillips anymore. There's no more the Jordan Hendersons, obviously the Calvin Phillips, no Raheem Sterling anymore, no Marcus Rashford. It's a different group of players. So looking at it subjectively and taking the view out, it's actually been quite impressive how Gareth Southgate got this team going in the right direction. Yes, it's been boring at times, but is that just not what we expect with England nowadays? That's just how England have played their football. And those sort of older heads have said over a long period of time, England have never really played attractive football. They've had golden generations. They've had big players, big moments, big individuals. They never won things. They never played great football. But this is the best they've actually sort of played progressively. They've gone forward more often than not. And this game last night was fantastic. It was high pressing football. They actually outpressed the Dutch. Dutch were forced to sit back in deep. They were forced to be the pragmatic side. They were playing through the Dutch press, playing through the lines quite easy. Kobe Manu turning into spaces. Phil Foden has come alive since coming inside. Fantastic first 45 minutes. Obviously, Bukayo Saka, for me, has been one of the great players of the tournament and definitely England's best player. Jude Bellingham had a quieter game, but in important moments stood up. You got the likes of Mark Guehi along the back line next to John Stones and Kyle Walker. They're not making many mistakes. It was just a really, really coherent England performance. But don't get me wrong, the Dutch were poor first half, but came into their stride second half. Let's get into all of that here in our play-by-play recap. Starting off, as I said, England won the ball more progressively. Look at the drive in the spaces, play the ball forward. It was a real obvious change in their style of football. It was look forward first rather than sideways or backwards, and it was going okay. They probably had the better of the ball and the territory battle in the opening 5 to 6 minutes. However, against the run of play a little bit, Xavi Simons would nick the ball off Declan Rice. Bit of poor touch there. Simons getting in there to make the challenge, get back onto his feet, and then blast the ball past Jordan Pickford with a stunning effort from outside the box in the 8th minute. You would have seen right now the TikToks and the shorts and on Instagram, the reel of me just going manic. A bit of a soft spot for the Dutch, especially Xavi Simons, and I've been hyping him up throughout the tournament, waiting for him to explode onto the scene, and that moment wasn't there. Fantastic tackle and finish. We see that in the Bundesliga towards the end of I think match day 33 or 34. Nicks the ball off the defender, drives and shoots on goal. It came off the upright, so really close going back that. This was even better. Top corner, blasted past Pickford. I know people were saying, could he done better? I think the shot had so much power and venom, you can't really get behind that. So the Dutch got off to a flying start, a little bit against the run of play, and that'd be the way to continue this game. England on the front foot, a lot of possession in dangerous areas and looking to go forward. Kobe Manu in midfield, Declan Rice progressing the ball forward and getting on the front foot. And in the 14th minute, they nearly drew level. Bukayo Saka making a fantastic slaloming run throughout the Dutch defence, getting his shot, which was blocked, and it sort of bowled up. And Harry Kane, in an attempt to strike the ball, did get contact with the ball, hit the ball over the crossbar, and after some VAR chat, Denzel Dumfries was deemed to foul Harry Kane. Now, this is the controversial moment. Do I believe it's a penalty? No. At the time, I said no. Still now, I say no. But I guess you create your own luck. And England going forward and having these chances, that's the luck you get. The thing I'll say about it, I heard this spoken about here in our Australian Opta Sport coverage by one of the experts. In England, that's never a foul. That's never a penalty. We've seen that a lot of times. So coming together, feet coming together, never given as a penalty. You go to La Liga, you go to Spain, sometimes Serie A, softer leagues with less physicality allowed. That's given as a penalty. The German league is a bit of a grey area, and this referee is obviously taken into account. In the Euros, you get different viewpoints, different perspectives. They try and keep a constant perspective, but you're going to get different perspectives on it. And it's just quite funny and unique that an English player that's playing the Premier League goes down for that and ends up getting the penalty, where we don't see that at all in the Premier League. We don't see those sort of 50-50 comings together. And I think I've had a lot of mates talk about it today, and the thing that sort of makes me upset about it is Harry Kane actually connects with the ball, then gets clipped by Denzel Dumfries. And as a defender, what are you supposed to do if you're not going to challenge the ball? That's my question, I guess, after I would ask the referee. If Denzel Dumfries isn't there challenging the ball and making a block, is that not just an easy goal for Harry Kane? You know, to volley that ball from close range into the back of the net. By contesting that shot, yes, connecting with the foot, not really in a follow-through, just in a natural motion, it sends Harry Kane's shot over the crossbar, and as such, he missed the target. So it's a lot of grey areas. These sort of challenges and these sort of moments are grey areas. They define games, and that's what really makes it a big talking point in tournament football. Because that chance there, yes, England were on top, but an instant response in the 14th minute. Harry Kane steps up in the 18th minute, converts a penalty in the bottom left-hand corner. By the way, fantastic penalty. It brings England back into the game. I said it in the live stream. I called it a real lifeline. A real bringing up from a really tough spot. They started the game well. They conceded against the run of play to a fantastic Xavi Simons goal. It's easy to go into your shell, easy to fall back and be more defensive and worry about conceding another, but they get an instant reply in the 18th minute there through Harry Kane. They did deserve that, England. They were pushing since that opening Xavi Simons goal and got it through Harry Kane. My thought, though, not a penalty. I think a lot of people don't think it's a penalty, but you make your own luck, and that's what England were doing. They were attacking the football, and that's what Kobbie Mainoo did in the 23rd minute. A great run once again, breaking through the lines, blind turn, getting into spaces, rolling the ball into Phil Foden. He also carried the ball so well. I thought he could have taken the shot first time, decided to take 3 or 4 touches. The chance looked like it would have disappeared. Well, Phil Foden managed to get the ball through the legs of Verbruggen, but luckily Denzel Dumfries on the line to clear that ball away to prevent England going from 2-1 up in the 23rd minute, and they would continue to come. It was chance after chance. It was pressure after pressure. It wasn't extreme, outlandish attacking football like the Spanish have done, like the Germans have done, but it was much better for the English. It was locked in the Dutch half. They could not get out of their own half. One of the few times they did was in the 29th minute, a counter-attack as Daniel Marlon was slipped through by Memphis Depay. However, John Stones came across, I believe, to block the shot, and it led to a corner kick. That corner, fantastic delivery into the area, and the header by Denzel Dumfries, who'd just basically been the villain a few minutes ago, giving away the penalty for Harry Kane, being the hero to clear the ball off the line, and hits the crossbar from a header in the 30th minute. So he'd had all this action happen in the space of a quarter of an hour, and nearly could have set the Dutch in front. And at that point in time, it was a big chance missed. You look back in the game, the Dutch losing control of the game, backs against the wall, a counter-attack, a chance at nothing. You had that ball at the back in that 2-1. You grind it out to halftime. You go into halftime leading the game. It's a positive spot to be in. Despite that, though, England kept going. The Dutch missed the opportunity, and that had come to hurt them obviously late in the game. But once again, Phil Foden getting the ball, getting in danger spots, tried his best Lamine Yamal impression in the 32nd minute, cutting in that left foot. No defender went anywhere near him. They all sort of sagged away and dropped back, allowed the avenue to make that left-footed curling shot. Came straight off the upright, though, unfortunately, to deny Phil Foden. He'd have a very similar chance only 7 minutes later in the 39th minute. Once again, get into a danger spot, getting that left foot, a low-driven shot that Bart Verbruggen was able to cover off. Again, looking for that far left-hand corner. But once again, Bart Verbruggen down to make a fantastic save. Netherlands back against the wall. Back to the first half. From that goal onwards, they created next to nothing. The header there for Denzel Dumfries hitting the crossbar, the Xavi Simons goal. Outside of that, it was bare. It was barren. Most of the possession for England was in the Dutch half. The Dutch were sitting on the edge of their own penalty area. And it was sort of roles reverse. I thought the game would go the total opposite way. I thought the Dutch would be pressing. I thought they'd be pushing forward, pressing the English defenders, catching them off guard, using their pace and power in the final third to make things happen. But it was the English that were controlling the game, controlling momentum, looking like a real final type side because of the way they managed that game. And outside of the sort of final 3 to 4 minutes in stoppage time for the Netherlands, they didn't have any control of the ball in the first half. So worrying signs for them. Half-time changes came. Obviously, Memphis Depay was a key injury in the first half towards the half-hour mark. He came off and Joey Verman came on. So really interesting call for Ronald Koeman to make a midfielder substitution coming on for a centre-forward. And it sort of threw their system a little bit off. I think that maybe that would contribute to their struggles in the first half. He came on in the first half for Memphis Depay. But in the start of the second half, Weghorst would come on to replace, I believe it was Daniel Marlon at the time, to put himself up top. Xavi Simons went back out into the flank with Cody Gakpo, and then it would be Joey Verman, Tino Reiner sort of rotating that number 10 spot. So a bit more balance for the Dutch. Luke Shaw came on at halftime for Kieran Trippier and absolutely excelled since coming on yet again. The fitness is going to be the problem for him in the final few plays. Chances were few and far between the second half. Took the 65th minute for Joey Verman to put a fantastic ball into the area. Virgil van Dijk got onto it first with the first touch. However, a massive save from Jordan Pickford from close range to keep the game at 2-1. It was probably the chance of the second half until that point in time. Again, really, really dull opening 20 minutes, but it was the Dutch denying England the ball. Phil Foden was getting doubled. Jude Bellingham was not being able to receive the ball. They were guarding him off so well. Kobbie Mainoo was only one able to turn into great space. Declan Rice was forced sideways. The defenders at the back were forced to pass sideways. And the Dutch were doing really, really well. I said in the live stream, they had countered what England were doing very well. Game management from Ronald Koeman, much better. Much better than that substitution. Memphis for Joey Verman in the first half was more progressive, putting Wout Weghorst on, causing some havoc. He basically fouled John Stones in the opening 10 seconds of the second half, just showing he'll press, he'll put pressure on you. The long balls were into Wout Weghorst to hold the ball up and give Netherlands some possession and take the pressure off them, because the pressure was building come that first half. So a much improved Netherlands performed in the second half, and they had that chance there that was saved by Pickford. Xavi Simons went close once again, the 77th minute. Gakpo's ball into Wout Weghorst. He sort of chested it down, half cleared out to Xavi Simons in the box. Just hit his volley into the ground rather than hitting it sweetly into the goal. Another missed opportunity that went over the crossbar. And that would probably be their best chance from there on in. Bukayo Saka thought he'd scored the winner in the 79th minute. Probably the best build-up play of the whole game. Great press interplay, found Kyle Walker, who was eventually ruled offside on the right-hand flank, cut the ball back to Bukayo Saka. He found the back of the net, but as I said, Kyle Walker was offside. And then the magic moment came. In the 80th minute, Harry Kane came off. On came Ollie Watkins. I believe it was Kobbie Mainoo to make way, Phil Foden to make way to allow the introduction of Cole Palmer. Two players have been really, really excited. We've been excited by, waiting to see in this tournament. Cole Palmer we've seen enough of. Ollie Watkins, a lack of. Barely played football in this tournament. So that 10 minutes plus, I think they were expecting extra time to make an impact in this game. However, those two would be the two players that would link up in the 90 minutes. On the stroke of 90 minutes, Cole Palmer would feed the ball into Ollie Watkins, held off Stefan de Vrij well, who, by the way, have been one of the defenders of the tournament. Has not made a mistake at all, has been so solid at the back, was holding off de Vrij, spins him to his left, gets on his right foot, drills that ball low and hard past Barbara Bruggen to find the back of the net, literally on the 90th minute, to send that England end into delirium and to give them the 2-1 lead, which they'd go on to hold on to be the 2-1 win. Once again, Gareth Southgate looks reactionary, looks late in the game, looks sort of just make something happen, but he's making the right substitutes at the right time, bringing Cole Palmer and Ollie Watkins on, both players linking up to score the goal. Like, you can call it insanity for the way he continues to play the same 11. The substitutions are late at time, but it's working. Like, in my mind, in a lot of analyticals' mind, and the pundits, it makes no sense. It can't work, but it's working. And once again, they're into another final. Like, you can't discredit what Gareth Southgate's done. Yes, I'm pessimistic on how they play their football and what they do about it because of all the talent that's there, but they're using the talent that's there to get these moments. You think Jude Bellingham in the round of 16, Bukayo Saka in the quarters. Now you've got this winner laid on by Ollie Watkins in the semi-final. It's just these moments because they've got big players, and this system of being defensive and being orientated that way first, and then using your big players to find those big moments, to find winners, to find equalisers, to take it late in games, and then win the game because you've got the bigger players that can win those moments. It works. It's just got the job done. It might not be as appealing as a Dutch. It might not be as appealing as Austria or Switzerland. I loved watching those teams, but in tournament football, it's not always the fairy tale, and as such, England have gone through it again. Yes, it's been a weak start of draw. Yes, had a weak group, but they've got there. You got to get there. You got to be in it to win it, and that's what they've done. So, fantastic performance from them. I think they're best performance by a long way, and they just keep improving and improving and improving. So I can't really write them off. I can't slander them today. It was a fantastic game for them, especially the first half. Phil Foden, Kobbie Mainoo, Declan Rice, Bukayo Saka, fantastic in the first. That second half, the likes of John Stones, Kyle Walker, Jordan Pickford, obviously Cole Palmer and Watkins, who come off the bench, make the difference. Everyone stood up in an important moment. And you didn't have to rely on a lot of the likes of a Harry Kane or a Jude Bellingham to get the job done, which shows the depth and quality of this squad. Looking at three key players, starting off for me, Mark Guéhi. Came straight back in the side. Can be hard to come in off a suspension to get back up to pace for the game, but did fantastic at the back. 6.9 match rating, a clearance, 2 blocks, 92 touches, 98% pass accuracy. Did not put a foot wrong, was not dribbled past once. Yes, the Dutch barely attacked, but when they did go forward, John Stones, Guéhi, Walker, it's probably a combined award. They were all fantastic at the back, and he just looks so solid on the ball, Mark Guéhi, comfortable on the ball to make the right pass, make the right read. He's capable of driving to space. Probably been the most willing to go and drive in the space out of John Stones and Kyle Walker, which is surprising, but he's done that really well. And he's shown that initial Palace form, which you saw probably a year and a half ago, where just wins everything that goes near him, comes on the ball at the back, gives that leadership aura and vibe off, and has done fantastic so far in this tournament. And yet again, to come back into a semi-final and play the way he played, just top from him. Second player, obviously, is Ollie Watkins. Only played the 9 minutes and gets the goal. 4 touches and a classy finish. That's how I put it. Fantastic. Like that hold up, spin and score we've seen in the Premier League, right? Ollie Watkins, some tight angles to score those tough goals in the Premier League this season. The goal and assist numbers were through the roof this year, and that's why people were begging to see him play. And I don't want to be critical of Harry Kane again. He obviously scores in this game from the penalty spot, but you see the difference what happens when you actually occupy the centre halves. The Dutch weren't great in the first half, and the chance creation was coming from England to the midfielders, the wide areas, and people cutting in midfield. If you have a striker like Watkins, like Tony, that occupying the centre halves, that can spin like Watkins in behind, it just creates a little bit more doubt in the side. And as I said, Stefan de Vrij, for me, has been one of the defenders of the tournament, has not made a mistake. I'm not blaming him for this goal, but the way that Ollie Watkins just effortlessly rolled past him, took a touch, shot across goal, beats Verbruggen, beats de Vrij, he made it look easy. That was not an easy attempt and not an easy finish to make, but he made it look like that. That's just the quality of the player. So to come on, only had the 4 touches, I think it was basically his second touch of the ball, which was the goal. It's just next level. Fantastic from Ollie Watkins. We've been waiting for him to play in the game. Even Cole Palmer comes on and makes the pass. Just fabulous. And fair play to Gareth Southgate to bring them on at the right time for them to impact the game. But a game winner like that will go down in history for Ollie Watkins. One of the best England goals probably in their history in terms of the context and the way it came about. And then for me, man of the match, no bias here. I think many people would say this. Kobbie Mainoo playing like a 30-year-old Michael Carrick, Scholes, Gerrard Lampard type performance here. Picking the ball up, defending solidly, driving into spaces. His ball control in tight areas is second to none. There are so many times just left to right in his feet, dribbles around defenders like they're not there, like they're witches' hats, gets into space, gets his head up and plays a pass. That little dribble to beat 2 or 3 defenders and then find Phil Foden, who nearly scored if it wasn't for Denzel Dumfries, was a fantastic build-up. All credit from Kobbie Mainoo, facing towards his own goal, blind turn into space, then dribble past a few defenders, perfectly way to pass to Phil Foden. Like, you can't teach that stuff. He was playing in the academy level last season, nowhere near an England squad. Hurts his ankle in pre-season versus Real Madrid after a great start to that game. Comes back versus Everton, produces one of the great performances, clearing balls off the line, calm and composed in midfield, scores that goal versus Wolves late to win it, and his career's just gone like that. And the trajectory is crazy. He oozes confidence, oozes control, and just has that midfield, early 2000s or the Iniestas, the one they feel like they have so much time on the ball. You can't phase them. They make the right reads of the game. They're defensively solid enough, but their attacking output and what they can do to progress the side going forward is next level. He has the 7.2 match rating, 51 touches, 86% pass actually, probably one of his lowest of the tournament. 1 key pass, obviously, to Phil Foden. 3 out of 3 ground duels won, 2 interceptions, 2 tackles. Covered every blade of grass, did everything right, and he's been since he's come into the side, the most consistent England performer for me. Gets the ball going forward, looks progressive, drives into spaces, makes others around him look better, and has done Declan Rice's job for him, I think. I've been pretty critical of Declan Rice this tournament. I rate him so highly, but we see that driving forward, playing Declan Rice for Arsenal. We have not seen that at all this tournament. It's been Kobbie Mainoo who's done that job alongside him. He's got the one got his head up. He's the one dribbling into tight areas, getting out of tight spaces, playing the pass that no one else wants to play, progressing England forward. And as such, they've looked a much better side with him in the squads. He was my man of the match because he just controlled that game from start to finish. With that being said, England now make it through to another Euro final versus Spain this time. I've got the kid on. They have been killing this tournament. The only team to go 6 game win streak to start a European Championship tournament off. They are flying. Dani Olmo killing it. That midfield, Rodri and Fabian Ruiz, unstoppable right now. You've got the likes of Dani Carvajal coming back, Marc Cucurella's performances. It's going to be a tough game for England. I'll do my prediction video, obviously coming out tomorrow. The most problem England I have on the flanks. And I've talked about it all tournament long. I've warned teams, I've warned people months before this. I said it, the tournament would be about youngsters, especially Lamine Yamal and Nico Williams, and these guys are causing havoc. Every team knows about them. Adnan Rabiot came out in the press conference and said, Yamal's have to step up to beat us. He did that. Nico Williams had his sort of few quieter games. He'll step up in this game here as well, you'd expect. How do England stop these 2 youngsters? Because they are so dangerous going forward. England's creation from wide areas is going to be hard because Marc Cucurella and Dani Carvajal are playing some of the great fullback performances of all time I've seen. So it's a whole different game. The Spanish side love the ball. I say this a lot, though. England have managed to win the possession battle across the last few games. They seem to grow into games and get it done. But they're going to learn to play without the ball and be defensively solid because this Spanish side will come at them. But I've been given some confidence what I've seen in the last 2 games. Switzerland, not great, but there was signs, right? There was positivity, there was driving forward, there was looking to try and create things and try and make chances happen. This game, Harry Kane more further forward. You're not relying on Jude Bellingham. Yes, a bit of a moment of brilliance from Ollie Watkins to win it, but a more team performance. Phil Foden looked better. Kobe Mainoo was great in midfield. Declan Rice, probably his best performance of the tournament. The back 5 was fantastic. Luke Shaw comes on, impacts the game. There is positives there for England now. Can they go and carry this over the next game and win the tournament? They are literally 1 win away from a bit of history here. This side, you might look back at it and look and nitpick every game and think it wasn't great. But if you look at it as a whole, you win a tournament, you go down to history as one of the great teams. Can they do it? They're so close. They're going to have to beat one of the great Spanish teams, by the way. So it's going to be a really, really engaging final. But England have all the momentum. They're coming off another great late win. The vibes are high. Football's coming home is being sung. Foden's on fire is being sung. It's all happening for England. And you know what? It might all come together. Gareth Southgate's got this team ticking on a different level. He's in a wavelength no one else can follow right now, the way they're playing their football. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video. It's a bit of a round, bit of a longer recap, but had to. This game had it all. Condolences to the Dutch. I wasn't a Dutch bandwagon, to be honest, in this game. Had to try and keep my biases aside in the live watch along. I think I struggled with that with my reaction to Xavi Simon's goal, but they've entertained this tournament. Fantastic for them. Cody Gakpo, fabulous. Vegos with the bench, one of the great bench players. Van Dijk and De Vrij at the back have been fantastic. Denzel Dumfries as well. Xavi Simons comes to life in what was their final game of the tournament, but there's so many great signs here for this Dutch side. Next tournament, the World Cup, will probably be their last as this sort of tight group. Then you get a new generation, so another massive opportunity if they can go again, and we'll make a fist of it at the World Cup in 2026. With that being said, I hope you have a great day, ladies and gents. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash a like on it, subscribe to the Player Zone channel, and press that post notification bell so you know we upload videos and podcasts here in the channel. As I said, have a fabulous rest of the few days to come. Get some rest before the final. Enjoy the upcoming football, and I'll see you guys in the video very, very soon. Till next time, guys. See you later.